All right, we're back,
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fella.
and we are going to talk to some people. If I can find some people to talk to.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Okay, that's all she's got to say. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, so...
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Right, so I'm going to talk to... After talking to her, I'm going to
Perhaps
talk
I
to
should have
Tippett.
considered the offer from that Cadigan fella.
And I think I might talk to one other person, and then I'm going to go to my room.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Okay.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Okay, let's do this.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Well, good for that. Personal questions? Nothing. Alright, goodbye then.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
And, we're gonna go inside now. There are a lot of other people to
Swansea's
talk
right.
to.
This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
You know what? I'm gonna do this side of the building, and then I'm gonna go upstairs to my room.
Time has lost its effect.
Okay.
On me. But the suffering continues. Damn. The pain.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Okie dokie.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Okay.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require?
Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay, and that said, alright. We're gonna leave her alone.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Time has lost its effect on me.
And
But the suffering continues.
Daily routine.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
okay.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
That's true.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Okay. I think that's all I get from him.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
I have one more question for her, if she's still there.
It's here again.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Okay. Not there.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Okay. That's all I needed from the two of them.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
What your last
Alright, now I'm going to talk to Sean Hampton.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Oh, I was looking for a meal.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Okay.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Alright. And...
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel... empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Okay,
Have you made friends since you arrived? Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
alright. Okay, and so just... Can I go up it? No, I can't. To make this playthrough more interesting, is that... Okay, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm just going to... I'm going to go ahead and get into... I'm going to go find something interesting to do. So I have a few quests. And so I'm going to go ahead and get into... Now I am going to be, because I'm doing this quest, I'm going to be running past someone that I could talk to. I'm not going to talk to him in this particular episode because I'm doing this to get something interesting to do. So I'm running past this guy. I could talk to him, but I'm not going to. Anything? All right.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Any loot? Didn't drop any loot, damn you. What good are ya? If you're not gonna drop loot, you're useless to me, boy. Okay. Resistant to melee, but you're not resistant to my powers. Okay, fine. Whoa! There's 3 of them! Okay. Alright. Still no loot. Still no loot? None of you guys are dropping loot. Okay. Okay. Now, it was... Okay. Okay, that was that. Now we're leaving, right? So I do need to actually... There's something I need to do. I want to do her quest. And her quest is this way. Now you want to be careful because Foulberg is dangerous. Alright, let's do this. Weak against melee. But that's all I have is melee.
Watch out!
Look at it! Gone up like kindling!
Okay. Come on, come on, come on.
Let's see how it likes a bit of fire!
Come on, attack. Okay, any loot? Any loot on the other guy? And... okay, survey mission. There's loot here. Alright, that's cool. Alright, so I'm gonna go turn in these 2 missions, and then I'm gonna go to my room. So the first one is Milton, right here.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Okay, and anything else?
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm done. Got any more money?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Alright, so, well, I'm gonna buy a trigger. I don't really need a trigger. I'm not upgrade. I don't think I'm gonna upgrade the pistol. I'm not gonna use it very much. So I'm gonna go to my room. Oh.
On every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Okay.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
That is true.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Okay, now I gotta check something. Oh, I have to. Oh, it's the quest is not over. Okay. Fine. I thought I just had to turn it in by talking to her. I don't. So I'm gonna go to my room now. Nope. There's a. Sometimes there's loot in here. There's a couple of things that have to be done in here. Alright. Alright, fine. Okay, so go to my office. Oh, there's another weapon. Okay, read T. Edwards' medical file, and I'll talk to him later.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Okay. What else do I have? Alright. I don't have anything over here I need. Change of clothes. I may give the Barker a shot because the Barker is a DLC weapon, so I might give that a shot. Okay, where was I? I was over here, and I didn't finish examining this.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Alright, so... Okay, let's examine this here. Now, I can't make any of that yet, but let's see what we got. Can't make that. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. I will be using the Dragonbane sword is going to be my main weapon for the most part. And I can upgrade it, so I'm going to. And I'm going to make it... I'm going to enhance the blood absorption on it. Alright. And I'm going to be using the scythe as my secondary weapon. And I'm going to increase the blood absorption on that as well. Now, the Barker, let's take a look at that. I didn't buy any triggers, so I should have bought triggers. because I wasn't planning to use it. To be perfectly honest with you, that's what's going on. I wasn't planning to use it. Alright. So...
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching.
Alright, so before I rest...
The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
I'm gonna go ahead and buy a trigger so I can use this barker. I'm gonna start buying triggers, so I'm gonna use this barker.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
And I'm gonna go ahead and buy a trigger. Alright. Now I'm gonna go rest and evolve. And I'm gonna rest and evolve, and I'm gonna leave the playthrough right there. So I believe my office is this way. And oh, I didn't loot that. And did I loot this? Didn't.
It's locked, all right.
Alright, okay, fine. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna see what else I got. So we got cheap bottle of gin. Can't do anything with that, and I can't do the barker yet still, right? Barker still needs, I need one more trigger part. Alright, so that said, we're gonna go ahead and evolve. Now, alright, so I'm level 4. Part 2 need to be this. I need to be level 8 for that, and then level 12 to start upgrading it. And I'm going to be going this way with the more damage. Now, am I going to do blood barrier or coagulation? I think I'm probably going to be doing coagulation, but what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be leveling up all of these. Now bite does hard biting, increase the damage, and life regeneration. I do want to heal when I bite, but I also want to damage when I bite. Alright, that's good enough.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave this particular playthrough. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. And I will see you in the next episode when I continue on by answering the door.